Hi, my name is Khia of Notes by Khia, and I'm here to briefly talk to you about discipline. So it is still a huge controversy in the Black community on whether or not spankings or whoopings, because that's what I got, are okay, if they're not, if they're actually effective. I will say this video is not about spankings and whoopings versus not doing that. What I will say is I do not agree with it, and here's why. So number one, it can really damage the relationship with your child, and if you value that, then you should definitely consider that. Number two, it is still a physical harm that you are causing onto your child. Maybe you think that you are able to pull yourself back or restrain yourself from going and stopping like at a certain point or whatever, but that's not always possible. And so I know that we often hear the Bible verse used, spare the rod, spoil the child. I don't know that that really means physically, because the Bible also says do not provoke your children. So, but we're not going to get into a Bible lesson today. What I'm going to share with you is a few things to consider when you are having to discipline your children. Number one is that your discipline practices should never lower your child's self-esteem. So you want to still build them up and say, hey, I know this was a mistake, or even you knew better than that, you know, but build them up at the same time. Try to throw in some positives in there. It shouldn't be to make them feel small or anything like that, but to teach a lesson. That should be the focus, as well as not making them feel like a terrible person. Number two, you can use reward and behavior charts. So I know a lot of Black families don't like to use rewards. They don't like to do things like allowances and things like that because, oh, I'm not rewarding you for something that you're supposed to do, right? But I always give parents this example. If you were on your job doing the task that you were hired to do and your boss said, you know what, this week we're not going to pay you because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and so we're just not going to do that. How motivated would you be to continue working and working well without, like, with knowing that your paycheck wasn't coming? And I understand, yes, you could quit that job. I understand that it's an exchange, but children should get an exchange as well. It makes them work better. They're a little bit more motivated to do it, and you can also teach money skills in the meantime. So when it comes to reward and behavior charts, I have a whole blog post on how to make those effective, and I will make sure that you have the link for that. However, what I want to definitely point out is that you should never be taking things away. They should always have more opportunities to earn, but you shouldn't be taking, like, if they're using stickers, it shouldn't be, okay, go take a sticker down, go take a check down. That should never, ever, ever, ever be the technique that you use. They should always be able to gain, never take away. Okay. It just takes, self-esteem is a huge thing to keep in mind when we're raising mentally healthy children. That has to be the forefront. So another thing is use techniques that work. If your child does not care about not being able to have their phone for 2 days, it's not going to do anything. So use techniques that work. Also, consequences should be age appropriate and also offense appropriate. So your 6-year-old should have a different kind of consequence than 16-year-old. Just because they're at different levels, it means something different. They have different values and the things that are important to them. Also, offense appropriate. So I should not receive the exact same punishment for, I don't know, breaking glass and stealing a car. Okay, those are two very different extremes. And if it's the same punishment every time for the same, like, no, it should not be that way. And making sure that it is offense appropriate. Sometimes it doesn't need to be a whole big deal. Sometimes it can be a conversation, and you should be listening to them as well in this conversation. But sometimes it can just be a conversation. Punishment should also have a end point that the child is aware of ahead of time, and you should stick to that. Keep your word. So it shouldn't be, you'll get off punishment whenever I feel like it, because that's about you. It's not teaching them anything. It is feeding your ego and not helping them to correct behaviors. And then if you're not rewarding, going back to rewards, if you're constantly punishing and never rewarding, what does that say to that child about them as a person? It all goes back to self-esteem. And what are we teaching them about themselves, about the world around them, and what their presence in the world means? So I kind of started running out of time and space to get this part of the video recorded, but I am so excited to share with you my brand new course, Healthy Parenting, Healthy Child. We are going to talk about things like this: discipline, rewards, and consequences, mindful parenting, how your parenting impacts your child's mental health, and so much more. I can't wait. So if you want to get in on that course and get on the waiting list, you can do that by going to www.notesbykhia.com. It is also in the bio in my Instagram at notesbykhia. And you can also DM me if you want me to just send you the link directly. That's fine. Also, I have one-on-one services if you would like to talk about something specific that you're working on with your child and would like some guidance on, and you can DM me for that as well, or find that on my website. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.